babes, and welcome to my book nook. For those that are new here, my name's Rainy Barton. I teach music and I also read books, all different types of genres. So if you're interested in that, like and subscribe to my channel down below. And my social media handles are rainybluereads, and it really helps my channel grow. Now I am here with my mini-me helper to talk about my September and October wrap up, because I didn't actually talk about all of the books that I read in September and October. And so we're going to do that super quick. And I'm changing the way that I'm doing it because honestly, I hate wrap-ups. I hate talking about it. I hate talking about the books at the end of the month. I don't know why I hate filming that video, but I do. But what I do like filming is tier ranking videos. And so from here on out, we are going to be doing tier ranking videos for every month of the books that I read. And we're going to be doing it using my friends themed trivia game. Well, not the trivia game, but using Friends quotes, because like Friends is how I base my entire life around pretty much. And so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to pop over in a minute to the board where I'm going to explain my different tier rankings and like how I'm going to divvy up all of that. But before we do that, we're still going to talk about stats because I like looking at stats. However, at the time that I filmed this, I realized that I forgot to give you my September stats. But you know what? I'm not going to go and look for those right now and grab them. We're just going to talk about October stats because honestly, I only read 5 books in September. And so like, I don't really want to focus on September. You know what I mean? But baby girl's going to be here while we talk about my stats real quick. And so let me pull up the October stats. I will timestamp this, of course, because if you're not interested in this, then we're going to be past it. However, I am doing my stats a little differently too, just because I don't need as many stats for like the tier ranking stuff that I'm going to be doing now. And so that's how it's going to be. So in October, I read a total of 17 books. I had a really great reading month, and it did not start out that way. By like October 15th, I'd only read like 3 books. So I read a lot of them in the second half of the month. I read a total of 4,745 pages. I listened to about 40 hours. It says 36, but at the time I hadn't logged in 2 other books that I've been reading. My average rating was a 4.02, and that's pretty exceptional. I acquired 16 books over the course of October. Let's not talk about it. I started 5 different series, and I had 3 diverse reads. As far as how I read these books, I had listened to 1 purely via audio. I listened to or read 3 ebooks. I read 1 physically and had 12 mixed media. We all know I'm the mixed media queen. I just love reading it like that. I read 1 manga, 12 novels, and 4 novellas. So I did read a couple shorter horror novellas this month. And 14 of my books were adult and 3 were YA, which is new because I don't really read a lot of YA. When we look at star ratings, I had 1 2.5 star, 4 3 stars, 1 3.5 star, 3 4 stars, 3 4.5 stars, and 5 5 stars. So I'm still coming out on top with having a lot of 5 stars, which I'm very excited about. And then we end with I had 4 fantasy, 10 horror, 1 literary fiction, 1 romance, and 1 thriller. I was in my horror era for this month. I was just reading a bunch of horrors. So you're going to see that in just a short second. And basically, that's all that I'm going to share stats-wise with you. And so now I'm going to just go through each book that I read super duper quick so that you know what I read in September and October. And then from there, we are going to go to the tier ranking portion of this video. I read Haunt, which was 4.5 stars. The Naturals, which was 4 stars. Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow, which was 3 stars. Once Upon a Broken Heart, which was 5 stars. Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, 4 stars. Thorn Hedge, which was a 4 stars. Jackal, which was a 3.5 stars. Big Little Lies, which was a 4 star. 7 Year Slip, 5 stars. Cackle, 5 stars. The Return, 2.5 stars. Such Sharp Teeth, 4.5 stars. Black Sheep, 4.5 stars. Bad Dolls, 3 stars. The Veil, 3 stars. Belladonna, 3 stars. This Is Where We Talk Things Out, 5 stars. Hollow, 5 stars. Spy Family Volume 1, 5 stars. Good Bad Girl, 4.5 stars. And Bring Me Your Midnight at 5 stars. And so now, let's dive into the tier ranking for these books. Okay, friends, I'm going to put myself in this cubby up here. And we are going to tier rank all of the books that I have read from September to October, because I didn't do a wrap up in September, and I figured I wanted to tier rank these better. And so we are going to use, of course, some Friends trivia. Sorry, Matthew Perry, rest in peace. But we are going to be using 5 different tiers to rank these. And so we have, starting from the top, He's Her Lobster, which if you've never seen that, the lobsters go together in pairs and they hold the claws and they walk together for forever and forever. That's Ross and Rachel. Those are like my god tier favorite books. They're my lobsters. Then we have What's Not to Like? Custard? Good. Jam? Good. Meat? good. That is literally an episode on Thanksgiving where Rachel accidentally has 2 recipes stuck together and makes half of a meat trifle and like half of a jam custard dessert, and everyone thinks it's disgusting, and Joey says, "What's not to like?" And so that's like what's not to like about this book. They're great books. They might not be God tier, but I had a really great time with them. And we have smelly cat, what are they feeding you? And that's literally what, like, it's like it has a problem. You like the smelly cat. You want to like the smelly cat. But it has a couple of problems with it. So you can't necessarily justify giving it a 5 stars. But you also don't want to give it a 0. It's like in the middle, you know? Then we have, I wish I could, but I don't want to. Because Phoebe says that at some point. And it's like, I wish I could give this a better rating, but I don't want to. It was not that good. And then we have, oh my God, which is from Janice, who everybody hates. Chandler's girlfriend that he dates like 5 million times. And so these are like, oh my gosh, these are trash. This is like the dumpster fire pile. Like never again, never ever ever in my life. So let's get started, shall we? These are in no random order. So we have The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This is the last book that I read in October, and honestly, I think it's a lobster. I think it's my lobster. I loved this book. I had such a fantastic time with this book. It was one of the best contemporary romance books I've read in a while. I could see it even being in my top 10 of the year, honestly. It was so good, so cute. It handled grief extremely well, and I just loved it, so I definitely need to read The Dead Romantic soon, because I loved this book. So, we're already starting off with a bang. But then we get to The Veil by Rachel Harrison, which is this short story that's like 47 minutes long that I read in her backlist vlog. And it was all right, but I'm just going to put, I wish I could, but I don't want to, because like, I don't really want to rate it higher. It just is what it is. Okay, then we have Hollow by Karina Halley, which is a Sleepy Hollow dark romance Why Choose retelling, and that is He's Her Lobster. I had so much fun with this book. I loved it. I love Sleepy Hollow. I love everything about the story. I love how she took the story and like made it her own and made it Why Choose between Brom and Ichabod Crane and Katrina. It was so good. The spice was spicing. The vibes were vibing. It was perfect. I watched Sleepy Hollow afterwards. I had the best time. I am so glad that I read this book, and I cannot wait to read the sequel because it is a duology. Also, I apologize if you hear noise in the background. I am on my planning period at the end of the day. Actually, it's the end of the day. School is over, but there are kids downstairs in the room playing, and so I'm filming this. So if you hear noise, that's what that is. Then we have The Naturals, which is the first book in this series that I started, and honestly, I really liked it, so I'm going to put it in what's not to like. I had a good time with it. It was a cute little mystery about these kids that like have special powers and end up being on like a detective team to help crack cases, kind of like a CIA type deal. And I thought it was cute. It was fun, easily readable. I would definitely continue on with this series. Then we have Belladonna, my 100th book of the year, which if you watched that vlog, then you know I didn't like it. Is it one of my worst books? No. I would probably put it in I wish I could, but I don't want to. Why are these both like that? It's fine. Anyway, I wish I could, but I don't want to. It's very tragic. Honestly, it's very tragic that I didn't like this book. I feel like it had so much potential, and it just didn't go where I wanted it to go, and it bored me to tears. And I just am very sad still that I did not like it. Will I continue on with Foxglove? I just don't know. I can't answer that right now. Then we have Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney, and honestly, I think I rated this like a 4.5 stars. Like, I really liked it, so I'm going to put it in what's not to like. I had a really good time with this book. I love Alice Feeney's writing. I like how they write stories. I thought this was very, like, simple, easy to follow. It was quick-paced. Like, I know a lot of people didn't like it because they thought it had too many characters, or they thought that the ending was kind of stupid. I liked it, honestly. I didn't see the end of the twist coming, and so, like, I stand by that. Then we have Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison, and that is also what's not to like. I gave this a 4.5 stars. I had a great time with this. It's a book about a girl that gets attacked by a werewolf and ends up turning into a werewolf and having to deal with that. The only reason it didn't get a 5 star is because like they did not tackle enough of the werewolf information. Like, I was like, what the heck? Like, I have so many questions at the end. Like, how is she going to handle her werewolf life? I thought the ending was kind of corny, kind of cheesy, wasn't exactly my cup of tea, and so that's why I didn't get a 5 stars, but I still absolutely loved this book. It's one of my favorite Rachel Harrison books that I've read by far. Then we have Night's Edge by Liz Karen, and I think I'm going to stick this in Smelly Cat. What are they feeding you? Because I liked parts of this book. I thought it had a very interesting premise because it is about a girl that ends up having to take care of her mom, who is a vampire, but they call them Sari, and Saris are like not welcome. Basically, they're supposed to be shunned and like a pariah from society, but she doesn't want that to happen to her mom, so she has to like feed her blood, and she has to take care of her and hide her from the rest of the world. And it had good bits and pieces, but I do wish I had read this physically. with the audio, because just listening to audio really was getting me confused, and when I switched to audio and physical at the end, I had a much better reading experience, so I think that deterred me in general. I don't want to read the sequel, but I do think that there are things to appreciate and really like about this book, and so I'm going to stick it in the middle. Okay, then we have Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty, and that one I'm going to put in what's not to like, because I thought it was a very simple, easy domestic thriller. I had a good time with it. It was like, it wasn't anything too crazy or abstract, but like the writing was good, the characters were interesting. I do like rich, like domestic type thrillers. So yeah, I think it's pretty much a very good one and an easy one to get into if you're trying to get into thrillers. So I had a good time with it. We have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, and I thought this was going to be in the lobster realm, but honestly, I don't really think so. I think that's going to be in What's Not to Like as well. Like, it wasn't one of the best books I've ever read, but I had a really great time with it, and I'm starting to like this trilogy a lot more, and I like Stephanie Garber's writing. I liked that we had Prince Jackson in it again from Caraval. Like, he's one of my favorite little babies. There were so many beautiful quotes within this book. Like, I just really, really liked it. I read through it super quick. I cannot wait to finish the series. I'm on book number 2 right now because I'm trying to film a vlog for that. And so, yeah, I definitely would recommend reading this if you haven't yet. I really appreciated it. Then we have Cackle by Rachel Harrison, and honestly, that's going to go in Lobster because I loved that book. I had the best time with this book. The vibes were just 100% there. This is very much more a character-driven book, so if you are a plot-driven book, like, this is not for you. Like, I loved it. I loved all the spooky vibes. It's like cozy horror-esque. I mean, there's literally like not a talking spider, but like an interactive spider named Frank in it. Like, he's so cute. Frank, we stan. And I loved the good for her energy and just the witchiness of it all and the friendship and the camaraderie. Oh, it was so good. I loved this book. If you have not picked it up, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. We have Bad Dolls by Rachel Harrison, and I think I gave this a 3 stars, but I'm going to put it also in the I wish, but I don't want to, because I wish that I could have given it higher, but I don't want to as well, because it was not horror. Like, those horror short stories did not scare me. Like, they were just all right. Now, were they written great? Well crafted? Yes, because Rachel Harrison knows how to write very, very well. But did they do what they needed to do? No. But I went in with the wrong expectations, because I should have known by now that she was cozy horror, and she most certainly is not that. So that's my bad. Then we have Haunt by Ren Montgomery, which is by my friend, and I'm going to put that in What's Not to Like, because the ending I was not 100% sold on. I feel like it was kind of rushed at the end. I feel like there were parts of it that I just didn't really appreciate towards the end, but the whole spookiness and hauntedness and atmosphere of this book was like very, very good. So it's literally about a family that moves into a haunted house. They're very religious, so there's religious trauma in this, there's animal violence, there's all different sorts of crazy stuff in this, abuse and whatnot. But yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, let me tell you that. But I thought it was a very good read if you're into that sort of thing. Then we have Jackal by Aaron E. Adams, and I don't know where to put this book because I wish I could have appreciated it more. So honestly, I'm probably going to put it in Smelly Cat, because while I don't think I fully understood this book, because this book was not written for me, honestly, I think that it is very, very good. It is very good in what it's trying to say. The commentary is fabulous on racial injustice and inequality in the world still, and how things are addressed based off if you're black or if you're white, whatever it is. And honestly, once I watched a couple of discussions on what this book was truly trying to talk about, I was like, wow, that is genius. Like, I had so much more respect and admiration for this book, so I will still highly recommend this book. I just was confused for a good chunk of this book. Then we have Bring Me Your Midnight by Rachel Griffiths, and honestly, that's going to the very front of He's Her Lobster. This is the best book that I read in all of September and October. Honestly, it's probably my number 2 spot right now, because I don't think it's going to overtake Serpent and the Wings of Night, but I loved this book. I've never read a Rachel Griffiths book. You better believe I'm going to read the other books super soon, but it was just so beautiful. It's about this witch that wants to be a witch, but like, witches aren't really allowed in their hometown, but they also control the tides, and then she falls in love with this other guy who like is in a witch clan that's been isolated because they do follow their magic, and it's their forbidden love story, and it's just so tragic and beautiful, and I cannot gush enough about this book. I loved it so much. Then we have Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw, and I think, honestly, I mean, I gave it a 4, but I'm kind of just going to put it in Smelly Cat, honestly, because, like, while it was good, like, I'm never going to think about it again. I've already forgotten what it's about. It just was there, and I read it. I read it for a prompt for Halloween, but like, it's nothing like that's going to stand out in the future. So like, would I recommend it? Probably not. but I am glad that I read it, if that makes any sense. Then we have The Return by Rachel Harrison, and that is going in, oh my god, and I'm very sorry about that because I hated this book. I gave it a 2.5 stars. I do not like it. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. This is clearly her debut, and I thought the ending was completely underwhelming. I don't think she explained anything that needed to be explained. It didn't make any sense, and I just couldn't justify anything about it, and so honestly, I'm pretty upset at this book, if we're being honest. The hotel in it was really cool, though. Just saying. Then we have Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison, and I'm also going to put that in what not to like, because I should not have liked this book as much as I did, because it is about some freaky deaky religious crap, okay? But it was really good. While I did predict most of what was going to happen, that did not deter my enjoyment of this book. Once again, it's very well written. She knows how to write a good book. I'm going to read everything that she writes. However, there were just things about it that honestly I can't condone, if that makes any sense. But I had a very good time with this, but this is not a book for you if you can't handle cult stuff, if you can't handle religious stuff, if you can't handle violence, like, none of that stuff. We have The First Spy Family, Volume 1, and I absolutely loved that. I'm going to put that in what's not to like, because it was a very cute little manga. I love how it's about an assassin and a spy that have to be together to, like, complete their own missions, but then they have a daughter that they adopt, and she's telepathic, and so she understands and knows that they're both a spy and an assassin, but they don't know. It was so cute. I loved it so much. I'm definitely going to continue on with that series. And we have This Is Where We Talk Things Out by Caitlin Marceau, and I'm also going to put that in what's not to like, because that was a very good short horror novella that I had never heard of before until everybody was reading it for Haley Ween, and it gives so much Bates Motel energy. Like, it could not be more Bates Motel-like. Like, it was just so good, so fun. And yeah, while it was very easily predictable, once again, I don't think that really deterred my enjoyment of it, because I thought it was just very well crafted and it did what it needed to do. Then we have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and I think I'm going to put this in Smelly Cat, because I gave it 3 stars, and I recognize what it was trying to do, and I think it also handled grief really well, but in a different and unique way as compared to the 7-Year Slip. However, it was way too long. There were parts of it that did not need to be in it. There were parts that dragged on forever. There were beautiful quotes. There were beautiful moments. But, like, overall, as a whole, like, it was just there. Like, it was a book. It is extremely overhyped. Extremely. Should not be the best book of the year. I don't agree with that. But I'm glad that I read it, and I do appreciate what it's trying to say. And then we have Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher, and I've only read one other book, What Moves the Dead by them, and I didn't understand that one. And there are parts of this I didn't understand. But honestly, I really liked this book a lot more, and so I'm going to put this in what's not to like as well. It's like this little short fairy tale retelling about, like, the something goose, like the gray goose, some type of goose story that I had never heard of before, but I thought it was very cute. It was easy, quick to read. I had a lot of fun with it, and so I think it's a cute little fantasy book or novella if you're looking for something short and sweet. Plus, I love fairy tale stuff. Like, that always gets me. And so this is my tier ranking for all the books I read in September and October. So as you can tell, you should obviously read the top 4 lobster ones, because those are God tier. But these are also really good ones that I would widely recommend. They're just not as good as those. And then we get to these ones, like, even I would still recommend these. They just have a couple of problems that I couldn't stand by. And then from here on, I probably wouldn't recommend it, which is crazy because I put 3 of Rachel Harrison's books on here, even though they were 3 stars. But, like, this is not horror. I don't understand what the purpose of this one was. Belladonna just was not good in my eyes, and then The Return was, like, garbage. And so that's where we're at. But I thought this was a really fun way to do a wrap-up instead of just talking about them the traditional way. So expect this a little bit more every month, basically. And that is how I rated all the books that I read in September and October. I hope you had a great time with them. I hope you enjoyed this format. Let me know in the comments down below if you liked this. If you got to the end of this video, put an orange for Clementine from 7-Year Slip, because that's the first book I was looking at. And let me know if you liked this in the future. What was your favorite book in October? I would love to know that as well. And with that, I will see you guys in another video very, very soon. Bye.